welcome back to Brick Gaming YG. I'm back here from some long break, I guess. I mean, my upload schedule sucks, and it will probably continue to suck. But anyways, let's get right into this video. I'm talking about Traptrix. I got third place with this deck, which I will definitely take. I was not expecting to do that well, because this deck right now isn't as good as it will be next month when the new support comes out. But I want to get into the deck and just learn it, and you learn by playing. So, surprised with how well I did. And also stick around to the end of the video. I will be talking about Gren Maju just briefly, because people have been asking for an update on that deck. I'll give a brief update, not too much has changed. Outside of that, please like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoy the video, and let's get right into it. So, I tried this deck out a little while ago and ended up not doing the best. I'll get into that in a little bit, but it was a completely different build, and it was kind of more just testing a theory. But anyways, let's get into the better build. Playing, here, I'll bring this up a little bit closer. 3 Murmelio, really good card on summon, normal summon. Searches for a trap hole. On special summon, destroys one of your opponent's spells or traps. Then we got 3 Mantis. This card on normal summon searches for another Traptrix monster. And on special, or not special summon, but quick effect, you can return a set spell or trap to your hand and then set a new one if you want to. So not too bad. Then I've got 2 copies of Dionea. Dionea is a pretty good card. In a you can say in vacuum currently in this format. It's not doing the best, mainly because of the Shizu stuff. When you play against Tearlament, this card hardly ever comes up, but it has a bunch of recursion effects. First off, when it's normal summon, you get reborn at Traptrix, and then when special summon, you get reset trap hole from your graveyard. Unfortunately, with the Shizu, those cards that effect is hard to get off, but it's still a good card. You still want to play it. Still allows you to make more XYZs. Then I play 1 copy of Vesiculo. I don't really like this card, but you need to play it for consistency, and you want to maximize on the good Traptrix, which those are pretty much all the good Traptrix for right now until February, when the new Traptrix structure deck comes out, and then the deck will be a lot more playable. Not saying it isn't playable now, it just, there's a lot of reasons why this deck is really hard to play and why it can be hard for this deck to see success. And then I got 3 copies of Fenrir. This deck struggles with removal. It can prevent stuff from happening, prevent monsters from hitting the board, but getting stuff off the board, especially going second, is a really big struggle. But Fenrir is pretty decent. It's a +1 every single turn, usually up to 2 turns, unless your opponent negates it, then it can be a little bit longer. But anyways, you're usually getting a +2 off of 1 copy of this card if it stays on the board, and then it's also just good removal, banishing any face-up card face down when your opponent uses a monster effect. Feels pretty nice. Then I've got a copy of Lancia and a copy of Scythe. Lancia, pretty decent card. It definitely comes up against Bestials and stuff like that. It can prevent you from getting OTK'd. As for converting a losing position to a win, Lancia doesn't do that, but there's reasons you want to play it. I'll talk about those in a little bit. And then Scythe is just busted. It's just a really good card. It should be banned. It should be banned, but it's not. But you log your opponent out of the extra deck. You're feeling pretty nice. Nice extra deck you got there. I hope you're on Monarchs. But anyways, it's a card. It comes up. You want to see Sanctum with it, and yeah, just a good card. Then here's one thing that I don't really like about this deck currently because of technical difficulties, and that is I'm only playing 2 Paw Prosperity. I need a 3rd copy. I ordered 3 copies, and the person basically more or less at this point has lost my order. I'm currently dealing with that, but I have 2. I got 2 now, so I mean, hey, I'm getting there. Honestly, I still saw it. It was still good anytime I saw it, which was really nice. Unfortunately, I just need a 3rd. And definitely will be changing some stuff to fit in the 3rd. Then I've got, to kind of make up for that bit, and this is not, I would like to play 2 of this card personally, but Triple Tactics Talent, I think it's a good 2 of. I mean, at 3, it's an easy brick, and it matters in some matchups a lot more than other matchups. Like against Tearlament, it's actually really can be an impactful card. Against other matchups, just depends. It just depends. But hey, it's still there. It gets you places. You can draw stuff. You can take control of a monster. You can look at your opponent's hand. At least 2 of those effects came up for me. Mainly look at my opponent's hand drawing. But yeah, card came up. Card was good every single time I played it. Card made an impact. And then one called by. Called by is definitely a card. I mean, I wish this card was either at 0 or 3 because it definitely affects both consistency and it also, well, for me as a person playing it, and also when I do play against someone, it feels like I'm sacking them, which is really lame. But 0 or 3, either way. But it's still a good one-up. It's good one-up when it comes up. It puts in work, but yeah, personal opinion, 0 or 3. Then for the trap holes. One of these trap holes I will not be playing anymore. Let's see. Let's start with the good ones. 2 Gravediggers. Gravediggers is a really good card. Definitely amazing this format against Tearlament. The burn damage can definitely come up in time. So it negates a card either in your opponent's hand or graveyard that's a monster effect, and then burns them for 2k, which is hilarious. It's really funny when it goes off. It's still a trap card, but searchable, really good. Definitely came up all day long. Almost every single deck plays some type of hand or graveyard effect. Then I play the standard 1 Floodgate Trap Hole. It is a card, flip stuff face down. Wish I got to play against Pendulum, so I didn't play against Pendulum, so I mean, it's fine. It's fine. Then I played 1 copy of Bottomless Trap Hole. Really good card. This card is just interesting. Against Tearlament, yeah. Yeah, this card, they can just chain block their way out of it, or block their summons with it, so, definitely a little bit of a thing, but it still comes up surprisingly. This card was actually kind of good all day long, because the deck struggles against monsters that are bigger than 1500, especially with Sarah. If you're not able to get them off the board, then you're kind of in a bad situation, and Bottomless helps to prevent that. I actually did not mind the card at all. And then finally, this is the card I'm going to definitely cut from this deck. This card sucked all day long. It was really bad, and I just kept citing it out, and that was Traptrix Trap Hole Nightmare. I thought it would be fun. I thought it would be kind of good. That was kind of the hope, but yeah, it just didn't really do anything. It came up once where it was good, but yeah, also misses timing, which is everyone's favorite. Missing timing feels great. Next, I played 3 copies of Brigandine, just the best one. A lot of people play, and sorry about all the uhs, but a lot of people play Parallel Exceed right now, and in my opinion, Parallel Exceed, it's a card. But I was thinking about this, and I was doing some theorizing. So Parallel Exceed is really good when you see another Traptrix, or if you see Brigandine and you happen to play Link Spider, it can be a really good card. However, on its own, if you brick, it just makes your hand worse. It makes your position in the duel worse. And Parallel Exceed, especially after the structure deck, you will not play it. You will not play it. And I feel like even right now, you just don't want to play it in this deck. It really messes up your consistency. It's a brick. You have to play 3, of course. Of course, you have to play 3, but one copy of it will most likely never come up. And if you draw it in a bad position, or you open up with too many of it, it just sucks. However, with Brigandine, if you open up a bunch of these, you can play it out. You can stay in the duel. It's good on its own to keep you alive until you're able to convert losing position to win. If you're there, if you're able to play, you can get there. It's really a lot better with the Traptrix. It's just all around a lot better card than Parallel Exceed. Of course, you can play both. Of course, I'm not saying it's wrong to play both. I'm just saying, in my personal opinion, I'd just rather play Brigandine by itself and make room for more tech cards and more options that will make the game a lot more unfair for my opponent. I'm talking about cards that are unfair. Sanctum. 3 copies of Sanctum. This card came up all day long. Shocking. When a lot of decks play in the extra deck, and stopping them from playing in the extra deck at all for a turn, yeah, this card can just really get you there all the time. because first turn, this deck is really making Sarah plus an XYZ if you're feeling nice, or if you're able to get there, and then some back row. And this card helps get you into another monster, triggers Sarah to start getting you more into your Traptrix. You can play this card at any time. And also if your opponent pops it like Harpy's Feather Duster or something like that, I mean, you don't mind, especially if your opponent has cards already on the field, since this card can also pop when it's destroyed. So, came up all day long. Pretty nice card. Then I played 3 copies of Dynamiscus. Man, this card was interesting. Because the idea I had with this card is that Traptrix, they get you additional advantage, they get you extra cards in your hand. However, there's plenty of times where you can just brick on Traptrix, brick on a scythe, or you can brick on something like 2 million brigadines, whatever it may be. This card just helps you deal with those bricks. It also gives you recursion, helps you stay in the duel longer. Removal, which this deck definitely struggles with removal. So I actually ended up really liking this card. There might be better options like Torrential. I've been playing around with that, but Torrential can also kind of be bad in some cases. And this card is just really good spot removal against pretty much any deck. Tearlament, if you banish something and not destroy it, it's really nice. It's really nice. Then I played 2 D-Barrier. D-Barrier is, it's good. It's good. It's a good card. Definitely comes up. If you play against Exo Sisters, which I was doing when testing, if you play against Tearlaments, they can only make XYZs, they definitely struggle a lot more. Overall, it can just be a really good card, and it kind of helps with Sanctum. Like, if you can't see Sanctum, it's like playing extra copies of that. And I know Sanctum can kind of be seen as a brick, since, if you draw into artifacts, you're kind of in a bad position. But that's why I'm playing 2, and both of them I just chose the most impactful ones, in my own opinion. Then I play 2 copies of Traptrix. Traptrix is a pretty nice card. I mean, just grabs you your normal traps. It can be used at any time, so it's really good with like Sarah. It's really nice when you see it. Anytime you see this card, you're happy. I won't play 3 though, hard once per turn. Definitely can lock you down, and it has to be the last card you play, and it might not be like the most impactful last card all of the time. So, it can definitely be both good and bad, but most of the time it was really good. And then finally, to round out the deck, I just played 3 copies of your boy Solemn Strike, the Old Man. This card's really good. I think this one's the best one for the deck, especially main deck. Overall, just this really solid card. Came up a lot, so happy with that. Going into the extra deck, played 3 Traptrix Sarah. I know some people are leaning towards 2 copies of this card now, and I totally get that. Like, 2 copies, I mean, yeah, especially after the next set, like with the structure deck, I would probably play 2 myself. That's probably what I'm going to do. But for right now, I'm going to play 3. And it's also 3 copies can come up in like a grind game if you're playing against another backward deck. Say, I don't know, Eldritch, Altergeist, something like that. True Draco even. Just playing 3 of this can definitely keep you in the game longer, and you want to play 3 because this card's really weak, and your opponent can out it a lot of time very, very easily. Then play 1 copy of Asa. Asa, yeah, good card. Reborn your opponent's Fenrir. It's not good in every single matchup. A lot of times you can just get rid of this card off of your Pop Prosperity once you know what your opponent's playing. A lot of times this card can just be an easy banish. But this card's going to be really good next format when more people are on Cash Terra. So definitely a noble and noteworthy card. Then I play 1 Nightmare Phoenix and 1 Nightmare Unicorn. Just standard, good stuff. Good card. Just solid cards. Then 1 Access Code. Access Code, pretty good card. I mean, definitely comes up once in a while, and there's definitely some lines within this deck where you can get to Access Code on turn 2 or turn 3. And especially if your opponent doesn't do anything, like, which doesn't happen very much, but every once in a while if your opponent bricks, you can just get into Access Code super easily. And yeah, just win the duel super fast. Especially with the burn damage from Gravedigger's Trap Hole. If you resolve 1 Gravedigger's Trap Hole against your opponent, they're down 6k. And then you go into Access Code line, get them up to 53, and you have any other monster in your deck, or any other monster from your extra deck, is pretty much game. There's very few exceptions, so definitely comes up quite a bit. One copy of Rafflesia, just really good, really powerful card, good protection, really good card. One Cowboy, Cowboy for time, Cowboy for game. Yep, I like it. Came up actually came up, which was hilarious. One Dweller. Dweller is a card that does stuff. Yep, good against Tearlament. If I suspect I'm going to go up against Tearlament after my opponent does like Havness on my turn, then I just know, hey, I can go straight for Dweller and definitely keep them out of the game a bit longer. One Silent Honor Arc. This is a weird choice, but in testing, while I was doing a bunch of testing, I realized that there are some really easy lines to Honor Arc going second, which can get you into another card, which I'll explain in a bit, but it's a really easy line to make Honor Arc just really good in this deck. Number 41, good stall card. Helps you build up resources. One Tornado Dragon, which will probably be cut pretty soon. One Time Thief Redoer, probably the best generic rank 4 in this deck outside of Abyss Dweller. This card I made even more than Dweller, so definitely a very good card. And then finally one AA Zeus, just another really solid card. And this is the line. You just go rank 4 using Dionea, using Sarah, going second if you can get to that point, going second with Sarah, or you can just do Dionea, get rid of one of your opponent's monster, battle phase, hit, you can either protect, or you can just hit over something. Main phase 2, you go into AA Zeus, and then you're just chilling. You're chilling. You're feeling good. So, just really nice in this deck, and honestly, like, just something I kind of liked. Kind of like it. Is it the best option? Arguable, but does it come up? Does it make for some pretty good plays? Yeah, plus no one ever sees that coming. And yeah, also Silent Honor Arc doesn't put anything in the graveyard, so it can be pretty impactful at times, depending on where the game state is at. For side deck, 3 D-Shifter. Decided not to main it just because this deck, like, how do I put it? I was doing a lot of testing, and D-Shifter probably about half the time was a brick, and you don't see it enough first turn to really, be able to have enough impact a lot of times. Like, with Tearlament, you kind of have to have a game-winning strategy, and side decking, D-Shifter doesn't do enough by itself, but post-side decking, once you put in other cards, you can actually do a lot with D-Shifter, where it's a lot nicer going first and second. Next is 3 Lightning Storm. Here, I'm going to move these up closer. Don't want them too far away. 3 Lightning Storm, just really good. Really good generic removal. I mean, would I rather play 3 Raigeki and a Harpy's Feather Duster, or something along those lines, or just play 3 Lightning Storms? And 3 Lightning Storms just feels a lot nicer. Then I got 3 Evenly Matches, for evenly matched matches. I mean, it makes sense, I guess, but good card. Just great removal. And it's getting reprinted, I guess, as a common pretty soon, so that's going to be pretty nice if people don't already have it. Definitely a card that has been needing like a really low rarity reprint for a really long time. Like, this card, even now, is still in pretty high demand. And for good reason. It's a great card. One of the best cards from 2018 that's stuck around, in my opinion. Then I've got 3 Solemn Judgment. Solemn Judgment is just great. It's an awesome card. I mean, yeah, good card. Really good going first. And I kind of follow up on that because, of course, 3 Anti-Spell. And I'm going to move this over because the stack is going to start slipping. Let's see. Let's get this looking all nice, I guess. Kind of. I don't know. There we go. But 3 Anti-Spell. The reason I play this card is because going first, there's so many decks that use spells, and there's plenty of spells that can just blow this deck out of the duel, that it comes up, it's nice, it's good against Pendulum. Again, I'm used to play Pendulum, and this card really good against it. I don't know why I keep bringing up Pendulum today, even though I have like 0 matches against it, but that's just what this card reminds me of. And I guess the other thing with it is that it can easily bait something like a Cosmic Cyclone. If you flip this up, you can bait out one of your opponent's interruptions or interactions that might be more impactful against another card. And yeah, I mean, it's a good card. Really solid. Let me get into my matchups and kind of talk a little bit more about what I was trying to do with this deck and kind of different ideas with this deck. I guess this is going to be a long video. But first off, my original idea was to play Bistrals in here and just go with Bistral Traptrix. And at first, like, doing some online testing, it was pretty decent. But in person, like when people are actually kind of like, taking the game a little bit more seriously, a bit more focused on the game, the Bistrals ended up being a bit of a hindrance. And a lot of times I would just rather see a Trap or rather see a Traptrix or even like Fenrir. I'd rather see that over some Bistrals in most cases. And then a lot of times, if you're not playing against Castera or another light or dark deck, you side them out. And then you're going to put in a bunch of stuff, sometimes stuff that isn't very good. So I kind of cut them. They didn't really perform as well in this deck as I thought they would for in person. But that is perfectly fine because this deck is actually, I was surprised with the performance. Consistency on this deck, pretty good since a lot of the cards search other copies or other copies of themselves or other cards, which is pretty nice. You can get a lot of advantage in this deck going first. Like, not like to an insane amount like with Tearlament, but enough to where you're happy and where you have follow-up for the next turns. Like, this deck can definitely grind. Also, after a lot of testing, both in person and online, this deck beats out other trap decks a lot of the time. Now, that could just be me playing the deck, because I have a ton of experience playing trap decks and control decks, and it could just be me as a player. But at least in testing, playing against other trap decks, the deck just definitely beats them out. Makes other decks really struggle that are back row heavy. And that's mainly because the best cards in the deck are unaffected by trap effects like Sarah, and also because a lot of stuff prevents those monsters from hitting the board. And with control decks, you really need your monsters to hit the board. Or especially like your normal summon or your only one of like X number of summons. It really matters. For anything about anything else that's kind of important to talk about with that, I don't think so. I think those are just kind of like the main points and kind of main things I picked up on. Then for matchups, first round I played against kind of this weird Dragon Link thing that was also playing fusions. Average local experience. 2-0. Then round 2 I played what did I play against round 2? That's a good question. Okay, so round 2 I played against Tearlament. Did not win that one. Now, what I realized was that I did make some actual errors in how I was playing the game. So game 1, I knew they were on Tearlaments we had been talking about before locals, but instead of going for Abyssal, I was like, okay, I'm just going to go with a completely different play and went for, what was it? I went for Redoer instead. I knew that Weller was going to be most likely the better choice, but I felt like Redoer could do more, and it just didn't. It didn't do enough in that case. And then game 2, really good hand. Havness came down. I had called by plus triple tactics, so I was able to hit out their monster effect in the grave, and then triple tactics. And what I should have done, because I didn't have very many traps, and I didn't really have too much engine going on, I should have gone for the draw 2, but I decided to look at their hand, put one card back, which was a misplay for sure. So I did not get that game, but it's, for me, playing at locals, it's all about learning and improving on both playing and deck building before going to a larger event. Then my round 3 was, what did I play against round 3? Sorry, guys. I thought I had all of it written down, but I forgot to write down my round 3 matchup. I'll just talk about my, what was it, round 3? Play against something. Play against a deck. I can guarantee you that. I'll just talk about round 4. Round 4, I'm still X1. I go up against Altergeist. First one doing really well with Altergeist that day. He was doing really nice with it, which is awesome. I respect it. But yeah, unfortunately, I just hit him really hard 2-0. With time still on the clock, luckily did not go into time. But yeah, game 1, just prevent him from playing 1 second as well. Like, I know Altergeist inside out, I know all of these trap decks inside out because that's mainly what I played in the past. You know, traps are fun. Flipping up trap cards is fun. But anyways, got that game 2-0. Pretty nice. Oh man, trying to think about what was the other matchup I played against. I guess it wasn't really that important of a matchup. I mean, I guess I must have played against something that wasn't very impactful. Oh man, what did I play against? I cannot remember, but it's fine. That's it for this deck profile. Yeah, pretty fun deck, pretty good all around. If you guys have any questions, any comments, anything like suggestions, etc., let me know down below. I'm always happy to continue learning, and that's kind of like the whole point of like doing this YouTube, reaching out, learning from other people, and also maybe teaching other people interesting things. I don't know. But thank you guys for watching.